got a chance to play with him in the World Championships this summer. And I think a lot of guys from that team have really taken off after that tournament. So it's pretty fun to see, but him especially, he's having a great season. I think he's right up there in points. Seems to be one of the main reasons that team is having such a good year as well. So not surprised. You can kind of see it coming the past couple of years, the way he's played. And he's been pretty impressive. He's like must-watch TV right now.
And of course in Chicago you guys are kind of retooling, but you're not alone. You look at LA, Anaheim, New York, all the teams that were really successful in the first, you look 4 or 5 years ago. Does that show, the parity in the NHL and just how narrow the window can be?
Yeah, I just think it's a tough league to be good for a long time, especially with the salary cap and your younger players get better. Everyone wants raises, and it's tough to keep teams together. So we've seen that a few times with our team, where we've had to kind of dismantle the team and make some changes. So it's never really fun to see, but that's just the way it is with the league now, especially with the salary cap. So you see good teams kind of get worse, and teams that are drafting high, they seem to get better. So that's just kind of the way it goes.
Ken, you're fifth in the league, Hawks are last in the division. What do you think is not working?
For our team, you mean?
Yeah.
I just think we haven't really found a way to win games this year. We've been in a lot of games, especially lately. There's a point there where we were, 5-6 points out of a playoff spot. We weren't playing that well, and then all of a sudden we're in these close games and you can't find ways to get points. It just kills you. So by no means are we counting the season out yet, but we definitely have a lot of work to do, especially this last 31 games, to try to put ourselves in a spot to make a run into the playoffs.
Patrick, who are some of the best guys to kind of talk shop, so to say, here? Guys like to talk about their own games and other players. Who are some of the best guys that are here?
You know what? As far as like the last couple of years, I've really enjoyed talking to that McKinnon. Kind of frustrated not seeing him here today. It would have been fun to talk to him, and even in the locker room, it's probably the best spot before the games or the skills competition, just to talk to these guys and talk about their seasons. And sat next to Blake Wheeler as well last year, and knew him a little bit from USA teams and stuff, but he's very educated about the game as well, so fun to talk to him. But yeah, those are the two guys, especially from last year. So I'm sure this year, hopefully, I'll take away a couple other players.
Why McKinnon? What stands out? What makes him good to talk about?
I just think he's a funny kid, first off, and then it's cool to talk to different guys and hear some of the reasoning behind their success and different things they do, whether it's off the ice or what they try with their equipment. I guess any topic is on the board when you're talking to these guys, but yeah, he was one guy that I really like talking to.
Matt was said he was one of the guys who was looking forward to meeting and working here. What, if any, similarities do you guys see in each of those games?
I think we play a similar game. He's a centerman. He's probably a better skater than I am. He's an unbelievable skater. Unbelievable on his edges. Just playing against him a couple times this year, it's pretty impressive how he can create time and space just from his footwork, and obviously he has the hands to go with it. So, yeah, I don't know. He seems like a really good kid. I've met him briefly, maybe a couple times on the ice a little bit, but very impressed with his game, especially with how young he is.
How does it feel knowing that none of the other players have been to as many All-Star games as you, which we have one of the veterans of this?
Yeah, the old guy here this year. So I don't know. It's crazy, I guess someone was telling me 10 years ago it was in Montreal, and that just feels like yesterday to me. So yeah, pretty crazy. We're at 8 All-Star games here. But at the same time, it's cool to see that number, keep growing. Feel pretty good about myself and my game and where it's at. So yeah, hopefully keep growing that number.
Do you have a favorite memory from that first All-Star game?
Yeah, that was just such a fun weekend. I was there with a couple of my teammates, Brian Campbell, Taser, Versteeg was playing in the Young Guns game, so we had a lot of fun. And obviously just like meeting some of the older guys, like I remember Mike Madonna was there and Joe Thornton was there, Kovalev, who I really liked watching play. And all of a sudden you're considered to be an all-star with these guys. It was pretty wild.
Do you collect sticks or autographs from the States?
I don't, but you know, I'm sure it's one of those things where you probably wish it would have, maybe later on. But I've tried to get like a couple jerseys from each All-Star game with all the signatures of the players, so that'd probably be pretty cool to look back on.
How do you say that? How much do you appreciate being a veteran by maybe that role now with some of these young guys?
Well, it's different. It's not like, I don't know if you really need to be like a veteran or a young guy, or if there's any real difference here. I think every player is deserving of being here, and we're all all-stars. It's not like we're veterans or rookies or whatever, so don't really look at it that way. Just kind of excited to be here with a lot of good players and enjoy the whole experience.
Do you prefer the new rules for the All-Star game, or do you like the old version?
No, I think they did a great job changing it to the 3-on-3 format. You know, it's been so fun playing in that game, and I think they've done it 3 years now, and I'm 0-3 in the first game, so haven't been able to win that first game. So it'd be nice to win that first game this year against the Pacific, and going to trying to win the championship. But it's been so fun. I really like the weekend as far as like the skills competition and meeting other players. Just being part of the All-Star weekend's been a blast.
Who do you think is most interesting to play with in your team?
Oh, there's a lot of good players. I mean, that Roman Yossi's unbelievable defenseman. Such a good skater, very tough to play against. Even though you wouldn't think of him as being like super physical, he's still tough to play against. So I'm happy I don't have to play against him this weekend. Yeah, I don't know. It's I guess I kind of have like, I think it's pretty cool. You know, I think it's cool that they watched me when they were younger. One of the guys they looked up to or wanted to, you know, take some parts of my game and put it into their game. So I think it's pretty cool. It's not like I think of, you know, when I hear that, I don't think like, oh man, I'm like so old or whatever. I think it's just like, it's cool that these guys like me. That's what I think. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I've always said that I kind of feel like a kid at heart. You know, I'm a big fan of hockey and love playing the game. Love being here at these type of events. And you know, for me, it's even cool to meet the young guys too, because they're a big part of our game. This is the young man's league, and it's fun to talk to them, hear about their seasons and their careers, different things like that.
Patrick.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, you know, you probably have to go with Gaudreau right now because he's had such an amazing year. You know, when you first get asked that question, the first guy that kind of comes to my mind is probably Kessel. He's had an unbelievable career, you know, winning a couple cups there in Pittsburgh, and he's always been a fun player for me to watch. So that's kind of one of the first guys that come to mind. But I think right now, yeah, especially I think he led Americans in points last year. It was Johnny Gaudreau, and now this year he's having the year he's having again. So probably have to go with him. I just think that line and their team has so much chemistry. It's just taken off. You know, he's played with Monahan for a while. They've been really good. Now you add someone like Lindholm. It's like it just made them click even more. Their power play's hot. Giordano's having a great season. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Patrick.
Where would I like to see him play?
Regarding funny guys, would you like to see Patrikom Panarin?
Yeah, he's a great friend. I love being around him. I love playing with him. He's always a guy that I was communicating with a lot off the ice when he was in Chicago. And he's having a great year. He should probably be here at the All-Star game.
It's told to me recently that he presented you a wristwatch.
Yeah.
as a celebration of that you helped him to get bonuses for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Could you tell about it a little bit?
Yeah, he just, I mean, we were playing in Columbus and we were there the night before, and he just called me and said, I'd like to talk to you for a little bit, so I didn't really know what it was about, but I met up with him for like a half hour or a little bit more maybe, and yeah, at the end of it, he just kind of gave me a box, and I didn't know what it was, and then I opened it up, and it was a pretty nice watch, so I think that speaks volumes to the guy right there, that he would do something like that, and you know, pretty special for him to even think of me, you know, a couple of years after, or a year after, when he's with another team. So, yeah, it meant a lot for sure.
Do you miss him a lot on the ice?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think we had so much chemistry together. It was fun playing with him. You know, Artemi's a great kid too, so we had a lot of fun off the ice, and then it was one of those things where I think it translated on the ice because we were having so much fun. So yeah, maybe you know, who knows what's going to happen to him next year, but it'd be fun to play with him again.
Would you name in the future the best player in the world right now?
It'd be hard to pick someone else. I mean, he's having a great season. He's one of those guys that I watch, you know, when I'm not playing on a nightly basis, because you know I can pick up things from his game and how he plays, and yeah, he's fun to watch. He's having a great year, and not surprising because he did it last year as well.
He's going to score 37 already.
Oh my God.
Are you surprised to see this kind of shape in 33?
We got all the Russian questions here, right? So I'm just pumping up these Russians. You know, I got to be careful. Like I'm American, so like that's kind of a big rivalry there, Russia and the U.S. But yeah, I'm not. I mean, Ovi's a great goal scorer. He seems like he's a guy that's going to score goals for us.
Patrick, why specifically do you say he's so fun to play with there? What's about his game?
Well, I don't know if I don't know if it'll ever happen or not, but it's just like I don't know. We had a good 2 years there. It was like we just really gelled well together. We played pretty much the same game, and he liked having the puck. He liked being the guy to make plays. I thought he was just as good of a passer as he was a shooter, which you know, I think is pretty uncommon these days. And you can see it this year. You know, he's really carrying that team in Columbus, along with some other players as well. But you know, it seems like on a nightly basis when they win or win in overtime or whatever, it seems like he is a big part of it.
Patrick, how important?
Dynastic form, 3 championships. How do you surmise your team at the end of this game?
Oh, I guess there's still a year left, right? So, you know, we'll see after this year, but I think it's been pretty successful. Been very fortunate and happy to be a Blackhawk for a long time, and it's an unbelievable organization. No one's ever satisfied. Everyone wants to win. So, yeah, hopefully we can top it off with a good year. Yeah, like I said before, it's a young man's league. You know, these guys come in and, you know, maybe in the past your prime was, you know, 26, 27, 28. Now your prime's like, maybe it's 22, 23, 24, you know? So it's definitely become a younger man's game. And I think a lot of teams these days are expecting their young draft picks and their younger players to come in and be able to benefit the team and help out the team right away. So you'll see more of these younger guys getting a chance. Who was that? Oh yeah, yeah, great kid. Has a huge shot from the point, and he was a big reason. Obviously, they won a Stanley Cup last year. He's pretty lethal on the power play. It seems like he has some chemistry with Ovechkin, with whether to shoot it or pass it over to him. And yeah, I was actually pretty surprised to hear that it was his first one here because he's had such a good career. So yeah, happy for another American to be doing as well.
Now, how important is it for you?
Oh, come on in, bud. Oh, you need your stand.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got for me?
I wouldn't make it too tall.
That would be the first time anyone said that to me.
Who
That's a good question. I would have to say before I got to the news at the beginning of the year, I would have to say Kane. But now I'd probably have to say maybe Mark Scheifele. He's had a great year. He's a pretty good player, so I'll go with him.
Do you have any special sellies planned for the All-Star game?
Celebrate usually I try to do whatever on my mind when I smoke, so maybe I'll pull some tricks out of that.
Maybe try the Jack Eichel last year.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Is it weird to be one of the oldest guys on your team?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in my 30s now, so I'm a little bit older. Still have fun with it, so I guess it's weird to be like one of the older guys. Always want the younger guys to do something for them, but it's still pretty fun.
Alright, thank you. I still got that stick you got me. Let's hang it up.
What do you got in your room?
I'm not sure yet, but I think I'm going to put it in my room. But no. Maybe when I'm older.
After you're ready.
I'm ready, so
You can't.
maybe I can switch when I'm practicing.
You get that same curve in already.
Yeah, it's the exact size as me. Thank you.
You got that one I gave you before, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Did you watch that game?
Yes, I watched some.
How's your hockey game?
It was good. It was very good. We won most of the games. We were 11-1.
How old are you, Mike?
10.
So you're getting old.
Yeah. It's 20 years younger.
20 years? That's pretty good math.
Please give it up for your Central Division All-Stars. Stay tuned for an interview with Mark Scheifele and Jackie Redmond. Up next, the Atlantic Division.
Alright, thank you.
Patrick, real quick, a question about Clayton Keller. A question about Clayton Keller. He's said that he looked up to you when he was growing up playing. Do you have any thoughts on this young player?
Yeah, I think he's an unbelievable player. And every time he plays against the Hawks, he seems to have a good game. But yeah, it's nice to see another young American, left-handed shot, plays the right wing, a little bit smaller in size, have such a successful career so far. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool when you hear that, someone like that who's such a good player looked up to you when you were younger. So definitely humbling.
Thank you.
Random question for you.
What do you think about the
This last one.
about the Ovechkin not coming here and about one game suspension?
Another Russian question? That's how we're going to finish? You're killing me, man. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you understand it, right? He had a long run to the playoffs last year. He seems like he wants to do it again, so it's understandable.
No World Cup at 2020.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Thanks, Patrick.
It's sad. I mean, I always like playing for my country, so it'd be fun to do that again sometime.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Drew, I'm doing a look-back piece on 25 years of playoff games in this building. You, as an opponent, have played many playoff games against the Sharks in this building as anybody. I'm wondering, of all those games, which one stands out to you and what your memories are of playoff games in this building?
Memories of playoff games in this building are tough, hard-fought games. I just remember getting hit so many times and absolutely battling with, with San Jose. Obviously, the game that stands out is winning Game 7 when we came back from 3-0.
I thought that would.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
Yeah. What about fans in this building to you?
They're loud. Yeah, they're really good fans. We always make it a focus at the start of the game to try to take the crowd out of the building, try to get the first goal because they do have very good fans here.
So do you like playing in this building?
I do. I love playing here, even though they boo me a lot and stuff. I embrace that. I love it. Yeah, look forward to it today too.
Thanks.
Drew, you surprised at all not to see Mark Giordano here with the season he's having?
You know what? I don't know too much about the season he's having, but I know Mark is. Whenever I play him, he's a competitor. He's a great player. I think he's an underrated defenseman in this league for a long time now, and he's a great person off the ice too. And yeah, if he should be here, he should be here. I'm not. I don't know.
Drew hasn't been playing nice with the three Sharks and the rest of the Pacific Division guys here.
What was that, sorry?
How has it been playing? Has it been able to play nice with these guys that you normally go up against?
We're all friends off the ice. You know what I mean? We're not going to go call each other up and go hang out, but when we run into each other, we're all friends off the ice, and you know we can put away all the things that we do and say on the ice to each other. How we can put them aside and just have some fun and try to go win a little tournament here.
Follow up to that, I spoke to Mike Rupp earlier and he said he wanted to see a line with you, Burns, and Carlson, all defensemen on it. How do you feel about that?
That'd be a pretty good line. I think we would score a few goals for sure, but I don't think any of us would want to play defense. That's the problem. We'd all be getting up in the rush, trying to 3-on-1 and stuff, but that'd be a good line. Maybe we'll see what we can do, try to make it happen.
You guys are trying to make some tweaks, maybe retool a little, but you're not alone. You look at Chicago, New York, Anaheim, all in similar spots. What does that say about the parity in the league and just kind of how narrow the window can be? Because obviously these are the teams that were at the top of the league not long ago.
Yeah, for sure. It's a little bit shocking to me, but it just shows you that you need to keep building your team. You need to keep getting these young guys in. These young guys are taking over the NHL, and these teams that are now at the top division, they weren't when we were back 5 years ago. So it just shows you that you need to keep rebuilding. You need to obviously have good draft picks to try to get some great players, and it was shocking to me that it's gone this way, to be honest.
Drew, to follow that up, are you prepared for a couple of seasons where when you signed, you said, I want to stay in LA, I want to win championships. Are you prepared for a couple of years where you might have to rebuild or retool?
I guess. I'm going to be there for the next 8 years, and whatever gets thrown my way, I'm going to do my best to get the team back to the top again, and not only with my own play, but with my leadership, and try to help all these new young guys if we have any new young guys coming in and whatnot. So, I'm prepared for whatever, but obviously that is not my hope, because I still think we have some great pieces in place, and I think that if we just make a few little tweaks, that we might be a lot better off that way.
Any thoughts on the accuracy competition? Whether you, Chris, or someone else will win?
I doubt I'll win. I don't know. I'm not. I have a decent shot, but I can say I've never just stood in front of the net and shot pucks at targets before. So this will be my first time. And I'm sure the crowd will be probably booing me, so I'll probably be super nervous and embarrassed a little bit. And hopefully she goes well.
Drew, are you glad it's not mini nets though? We just
True. That's 100%. Yeah, I struggled at that last year. And once you just keep missing, everything just keeps building up, and you start feeling worse and worse about yourself. And, I'm glad I'm in the target shooting, because at least I'll probably hit the net. And,
Drew, with the addition of Ilya Kovalchuk, do you feel that the team is playing better? Do you think it's working out?
I think Ilya's done a good job for our team for sure. I love the way he plays. He plays hard, and he loves scoring goals more than anyone I've ever seen before. I think overall, our entire team has not played well enough. I think individually, all of our players would say that they haven't had good enough years. So I do think Ilya was a good addition, but I don't think that we've showed it to our fullest potential yet.
Drew, at the KHL All-Star Game, a player got up and performed with the guitar and sang.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, do you think that the NHL should introduce a talent competition, and what would yours be?
What would my talent be? I don't know. I'm not a singer. I can't play any instruments, so. Yeah, I don't think they should introduce that, no, because I don't want to be a part of that, but.
Kind of coming back to the direction of the team, I mean, you guys still have some really solid pieces and confidence in them with reason. I mean, obviously you don't want to go through a season like this, but could it almost be a blessing in disguise, because you guys do have that core, and then maybe you get 2 or 3 young guys on entry-level deals that that's an infusion of speed, that's an infusion of talent around the experience nucleus you already have.
Yeah, I think that's probably the vision that our staff and whatnot has, and our players too. But right now I know we're in almost last place or whatever it is, and it's going to be an absolute battle for us to even try to get in the playoffs this year. But none of us are giving up, and we still believe that we can possibly do it. So, and that's the truth. I know maybe everyone's thinking I'm an idiot right now, but that's the truth. We're going out there playing our butts off every night as hard as we possibly can, and we believe that we can make it in.
Is this kind of a good break for you to get away from that?
Oh yeah, I needed this one. This has been obviously a tough year for all of us, it's been a great break to get away from hockey and just to shut my brain off for a little bit, because it's been a tough year.
You were somewhere else before this, I think?
Yeah. We just went on a little trip with some of the guys and got to play some golf and stuff like that. So I was very thankful that I had that trip to go on.
Henrik, Keith Yandel said if he didn't score on you, you owed him dinner tonight. Is that true?
I'll buy dinner, for sure. I don't know if when it went that high on the first round, it was it was a nice start for me. So, no, we joked around. I wasn't sure if I was going up against him before we started, and then I saw the list. Obviously, I faced him in practice many times. But it was fun. You know, so many good players. Just sitting out there and talk to a bunch of guys and catch up and a lot of different things. And obviously, being the breakaway challenge was also a lot of fun.
You had to wait for such a long time. Did that come to your advantage? I mean, you waited a while to go.
I don't know if it was an advantage. You just sit there and enjoy the show. And then big things, just you warm up a little bit, stretch a little bit. That's the only concern you have. But after a few rounds, you get bored pretty fast. And, I enjoyed it. It was kind of what I expected, similar to last year. And, the big thing when you go out on a breakaway challenge like that, facing the best players in the world, you try to be patient. That's the key.
You celebrated like it was a big win, you know?
Well,
Twice.
you did twice. Yeah. No, you gotta. Should I say? Do a little extra, you know, try to show some emotions out there. I think it's fun to give for the fans too and enjoy that. But at the same time, you know, when it comes down to it, of course you want to compete, you want to try to win.
You always say that, you know, it's not a goalie-friendly competition, but for you to have success tonight, is it extra special, given the format and everything?
Yeah, well, I got lucky a couple of times. Key moments. I think that the winner, when I stopped it, there, Stammer almost beat me 5-0. They hit the pad. Again, back to facing the best players in the world. That's what makes it special to play in this league. That's what makes it very special to be here this weekend. To get that opportunity to challenge yourself against them, especially one-on-one, or also tomorrow, 3-on-3. It'll be interesting.
I think Stanley was the 8th.
Oh, that was it. That was the time. You're right.
So, did you? He could have scored and won it for his teammate. There, were you aware at all? Did you think about it?
I don't think I really thought about it there, but I told him in the locker room afterwards that I owned a couple of drinks, and he gladly accepted.
Sure.
So we'll settle things.
Do you get anything for this? They give you a trophy or anything?
No, nothing yet. Just the pride. No, that's enough for me.
What would it like to have the Atlantic guys come out right after you were done and won to kind of, you know, congratulate you, the guys who finished?
Well, you know, it's again going one against one-on-one like that. It's a lot of fun. You have a lot of respect for them. All these players that are here, they're playing a big part in this league. Different players, different situations on their teams, obviously, but they're all playing a big part of promoting the game, promoting the league. I have a lot of respect for them. After a challenge like that, I just acknowledge that, I guess.
How exhausting physically was this on you? Stop 12 in a row. Do the fans realize how tough this is?
No, it's not tough. Listen, like after practice, when you practice for an hour and stay out there for maybe 50, 60 breakaways, then you're tired. Today you sit there and you just watch and enjoy the show, and you're just out there for 15 rounds, whatever it was. You're not tired. You just enjoy it.
I think you went for the poke check on Skinner on the 13th round and missed it.
And I missed it, yeah, and then I was done. That's the thing.
So
We
that's
talked
not
about
staying patient.
Exactly, and then sooner or later you will make a mistake, and they cost you. That's how it works. And same thing in a game. You know, if you face 30 shots and you have maybe 20 scoring chances, and every 7-8 scoring chances, you might make a mistake that's going to cost you. That's the reality. So on a breakaway, you try to stick to what you need to do for the most part, and then you get out of game plan, I guess, at times. Try something different.
When you were announced, you got a pretty good reception from your fans. You appreciate that?
Yeah, I was surprised. I'm far away from home. They still cheered for me. That was nice.
You know the types of moves Kucherov was one of the defenders when he did to Hockey last season.
Yeah.
What did you think of the moves he tried on you today?
Well, he had me. I'm the one that went really slow, but just a little wide. If it's inside the post, it's a goal. Once he got me, the move he made, he just commit to that right side and close it. His record speaks for itself. He's one of the best players in the game. He can really make you look pretty stupid out there. But luckily for me, it went far side, so it was good.
Were you bringing? Say anything to you afterwards?
No, we talked a little bit. Obviously, we got an opportunity last year to get to know each other a little bit. Very nice man, and I really like his style. The way he competes, and I think we're all impressed with the way he can play the game. I think he has the size, the skill, unbelievable. Like the flexibility he uses when he plays, it's impressive. I think he's one of the best players in the game.
Extra special for your family to watch this and to understand what was going on.
Yeah, if they were still awake, my two kids, but they enjoy coming to the games in New York and here. It's special, obviously, to bring your kids now. 4 and 6, they start to understand what I'm doing and why I'm gone so much. I think when you're younger, you don't have kids, you don't realize how much you're gone, how much you travel, how much you commit to this game. But when you do have kids and they start asking you all the time why you're leaving, why you're gone, why you're not home, then you start to pay attention. Wow, I'm really spending a lot of time and I'm really committed to playing this game. So it's fun when you can do on the road like this and show them.
Who are you bragging to first when you get back to the Garden?
From what?
When you get back to the Garden, who are you going to brag to first about your win?
We have a game to play tomorrow. That's a big thing. But we'll see. I mean, I know Matt Zuccarello always has something to say about everything I do, and especially on breakaway, so I'll probably talk to him about it first.
Henrik, what's the story with the suit?
Story with the suit? This?
Yeah.
I don't know. Special weekend, special event. It would be fun to just do something different. That's about it. I thought, make something unique that I'll remember.
Henrik, you don't happen to get out to San Jose with the Rangers as often as other teams, but what can you tell me about just the city of San Jose in terms of they have a fan base? I mean, they're booing John Tavares because he didn't sign here, right? They're very knowledgeable, and they don't really get as much respect sometimes for the fan base that they've grown here.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think coming here, it's fun to come in here, even though you know it's one of the toughest places to play. They have a good team. It's an intense building to play in. Great atmosphere. You just need to be on your toes every time you walk into this building, and I love that challenge. So I enjoyed coming here. For the fact that we only go here once a year, that makes it special. But also the environment when you come into this building, it feels like they're not on your side for sure. But that's a fun part of playing the game. When you're in the building, you feel like it matters to people.
Henrik, after a couple of those goals, what were you thinking? You think you still had a shot at it and continued afterward? What's going in your mind at that point?
Well, you always have a chance. You always have the answer right after it happens. You know that's what you do. That is what I do. I quickly analyze what went wrong and what I should have done, and then you move on to the next round. You might correct a few things if you're too deep, if you made the first move, and the glove maybe was too low, or stuff like that. So you go on a streak, like you're going to go for 5 to 10 rounds. You have an opportunity to correct things as you move on, and that's what we did. Save more goals, try to analyze it quickly and on to the next.
And in your career, how important?